It's not too late to be whoever we want to be. In Tampa Bay, after all that this team has overcome, we know things can change just like that.
Because it doesn't matter what happened. They've won the division. They are printing a playoff ticket.
And this is what happened. You count them out.
Riddle me this. All of a sudden, they look dangerous.
Right now, we start from scratch.
Well, y'all know what type of week this is, man. We playing for it all. Let's go.
All we've ever needed is a chance. And what we do with it, that's up to us.
Go, boys. Come on. You like football, this is where you want to be.
Ain't nobody gonna save us. We don't need nobody to save us, man. We know what we got. We know what we're capable of.
They came down here and it's hot as hell. That's showing how hot it's going to be.
Gonna be a dogfight. That's why we're here.
From here on out, anything can happen.
Throws, it's caught. It's in for the touchdown. Incredible.
Touchdown, Rachaad White.
And even when the odds are stacked against us,
Every time they count us out, we keep playing up.
Brady going deep. Evans again. He's got it. My goodness, this is a monster sack.
Let's go.
One man to beat. He shuts it down.
A sack by Lavonte David.
Everybody here got something to prove. Let's show the world why we bet.
raise the flags.
We back. It is day 2 of Wildcard Weekend, starting right now, and we're not gonna waste any time. Late arrival as usual. You know how we do here. We show up when we want to show up. You make sure you show up when you show up. All right. We got us. You got you. All right. Cool. Let's do this thing. I got the best co-host in the game, and this officially starts day 1 of our playoff predictions. And I just gotta let homie know. I'm 2-0 already. So, you better bring your game for this playoff prediction, man. How you doing?
Super Wildcard Weekend. Syl Nation Sports Network. Yeah, we ready, Austin, man. You know, I gave you a head start. You know, it's like on the races, and I'm, you know, I may lap you. I don't know.
Damn, bro. He said lap me. He didn't say pass me. He said lap me. Wow, bro. Wow. But damn, that's fair. That's fair.
Playoffs.
That's fair. It is
This is
playoffs.
the best weekend of football, like, period.
Yeah, dude. Literally the best weekend of football. It's the first couple of days of March Madness for any of you basketball fans out there. This is when everybody gets to play, and not everyone gets to go on to the next round. some people get to go the fuck home. And unfortunately, that's how the playoffs go for the NFL. It's no series. It's one and it's done, man. Or it's one and you're on to the next round. This isn't, oh, you had a bad game one. Let's see if they show up game two. Nah.
Win or go home.
Now. Yeah, you better show up right fucking now. So with that being said, homie, how did you think about yesterday's games? We had one blowout. We also had one come down to the wire. Little magic at the end there. And I got a theory as to why we got that magic. But what do you think first about the Seahawks 49ers game? Did you catch any of that?
Yeah, Seahawks 49ers, man. I was watching some of the first half and I was like, oh, Geno hanging in there, right? And then
yeah.
And then watching that second half and catching up. It's the 49ers. It's, the NFC, I feel like the toughest teams are going to be favorites. You'll see a theme. Always got themes with this stuff. And so it's like Seahawks was bringing the toughness that first half. But then 49ers was like, we got this formula, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? You got Brock Purdy, doing his thing and, giving it to Debo, giving it to McCaffrey. And so it's like, man, they got the formula. That's my early pick for NFC. I'm just going to throw it out there real quick.
Oh, damn.
Represent NFC. But so they represented, man. And, it was a little rusty to start the first half. But then Geno, became Geno,
I know.
He's a capable quarterback. He's a Pro Bowler this year, and he's deserved it. But let's keep it real, It's like Geno, you're not that dude, right? And your team's not that team. So good thing for the Seahawks is that they got the Broncos pick. So even though the Seahawks made the playoffs, they're gonna have like a top 5 pick in the draft. So they can get the Ohio State quarterback or one of these other quarterbacks and start, getting ready for the next, the future. So, I don't feel too sorry for the Seahawks. They represented. They got into the tournament. They lost against the eventual NFC champions. So that's all.
Yeah. I don't feel sorry for them either because last year they had Russell Wilson on their team and they decided they'd be better off without him. And this year, clearly they were. Because guess who wasn't?
They got a lot of players. You got to think about it. That's why I'm so excited for the draft because you're going to see teams, trading people. The other team gets like 5 or 6 picks, and you see all these players. You haven't plugged a lot of holes by trading Russell Wilson, and so, like I said, it's still going to reap benefits next year because the Broncos suck this year. So they get their pick. Yeah, Seattle won that trade. They made it to the playoffs, got more money. God, yeah. Plus, more picks. So.
They won that trade like by leaps and bounds. Hands down. People at first might have been. I imagine, and I didn't really pay attention because it's the Broncos, but I imagine at first people were on the Broncos side were like, "Yo, we stole this. We stole this trade. We fucking won it." Yeah, you guys got Geno. Oh, good luck, dude. Good job. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure that's what the reaction was.
What they saying now. And again, it's not to shoot down Russell Wilson. He is, I believe he's a Hall of Fame quarterback because they had that. If you get like an era, I think you're going to get into the Hall of Fame. And the Seahawks was that team for a good 3 to 4 years, right? You got 2 appearances in the Super Bowl. That's how that's how you do it. So, Russell Wilson, future Hall of Famer, is just, he's kind of washed right now. But let's see with a new coach they properly. I think you can squeeze like 3 more years out of Russell Wilson. Actually, I actually think they can.
Wow, that's fair. Yeah, I mean, and I don't think if he is on the other end of the arc of his career, you still got a couple more. And it's, to me, those are probably going to be. The first thing that came to my mind was Peyton Manning because of the Broncos, but not Peyton Manning. He's going to be Drew Brees with his downfall. Because that's exactly like the same height, basically the same game that they had, same size. Russell's maybe a little bit bigger, but it's not looking good unless. And I would be pleasantly surprised to see him come out next year and look completely different too, because there were flashes of the old Russ this season. He just was
towards the end, right?
Yeah, few and far between.
And I look at more trajectory. I mean, you're being nice saying Drew Brees. I'm seeing more of a Ben Roethlisberger to Russell Wilson, where he's going to be like that old slugger, And I think he's still going to make plays. And like, oh, Russell still can run. If y'all remember when Ben Roethlisberger went towards the end, like all of a sudden he'll decide to run a little bit. They're like, oh, there go Ben. That's the old Ben. And then he'll make a play. That's what's going to happen with Russ for a couple of years. Some of those flashes, right? And then he's going to calm down.
Bro, why did Ben Roethlisberger turn into the old gym teacher, man? Like, that's what he became at the end of his career.
He still had that arm, though. Like,
oh, no, Mr. Roethlisberger's lacing up his shoes. Oh, no, dude, watch out.
He had that arm the whole time. I'm going to give Roethlisberger that credit. And he probably had the best throw as far as in my lifetime, like actually like me watching the game and understanding it. Because I don't count all the 80s Super Bowls because I wasn't paying attention. But Roethlisberger probably had the best throw in Super Bowl history to me against the Cardinals. When homeboy caught it, and did the toe tap for the win. Bro, that was probably one of the most entertaining Super Bowls I've seen.
His feet were as straight as this pen to get into the end zone. Like, that was the craziest catch, too. Yeah, I remember watching that because
the catch was nuts. The throw to put it there, I thought was nuts.
And that's kind of the era of football that I miss because of the teams that were so great and how teams each had their franchise quarterback. Like in that that era, it was Brady, Manning, Roethlisberger. And if one of those two quarterbacks beat us in the playoffs, I would cheer for them for the rest of the playoffs. It's like, yo, now I want you to win because I know you're a great quarterback and I want to see you be competitive against Tom Brady because that makes Tom Brady more competitive. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's why much props to Ben Roethlisberger, man, because he was in that era of Brady and Manning. You know what I mean? He was always a third wheel. Right. He got a couple. He got a couple. Ben got 2 rings, I believe.
No, I mean one against Brady specifically. Like he won that AFC Championship game.
He got the one against the Seahawks. He beat. Let's see. I know the one was with Tomlin, so I guess he got 2. But
2, yeah.
No,
it's
because Rodgers beat him in the Super Bowl too.
So
that's okay. But yeah, he had his run, and I'm saying just to be in that era and get, like I said, get one against Brady. That's how you look. You don't look at rings. You look at how many. That's a ring for them.
What you got against us?
But he was in that that third cog right there because Phillip Rivers was trying to be that dude, but he never could get over that hump. He couldn't beat Brady or So that's how it goes.
He was a couple of darns and a few hecks away. That's what.
Gee gollies.
Yeah. Phil Rivers just not as good. But yo,
F Phil Rivers, man. Yeah. I don't like that dude.
We got into that conversation just talking about the 49ers. We didn't go over last night's game, which was the Jags versus the Chargers, right? And here's a little background on how I came into watching last night. Like Saturday night game, I actually went out to dinner. We went shopping with me and my lady. We got back. The game was already on. And, we were just, I don't even know what we were doing stuff, milling around the house, random stuff, right? 10 o'clock comes around. I'm like, oh, shit, that game's on. Let me see what the game is at. I pull it up. Chargers are up 27-0. I'm like, what the fuck's going on right now? I can't believe I picked the Jags and they're playing like this at home. What the fuck? The first thing I thought, I was like, man, this is disrespectful to Uche. What the fuck you guys doing right now? This is fucked up. And then, but I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep watching it because I told Necron this yesterday. Man, there's a finite amount of NFL football left this season. Only a couple more weekends, man. Like, let me watch all of it. I know we're going to be watching the XFL, but there's a different type of caliber with playoff football. Exactly. And if I had seen that score and been like, Chargers are going to win anyway, so just turn it off, I would have missed one of the best playoff games I've ever seen in my life. The Jags came back to win it with a field goal at the end, bro. They had a completely different second half, and so did the Chargers. The Chargers also had a completely different second. They were a different team. I just kept. How many times could the NBC broadcast show Justin Herbert on the sideline with his fucking helmet like on his forehead?
Weird.
Well, what do you keep showing him for, dude? He can't do anything. That's not the defensive coordinator. What do you keep showing him for? I felt bad for him on that part. But hey, the last thing I want to say about that, I think Uche helped a little bit on that field goal. By the way,
Hey, you gotta think, man. That the circumstances was insane for this Jaguars team, and I feel like that first half, I was like, man, it came down to, because this is my AFC thing. You know, do you have the quarterback? That's what the playoffs is all about for the AFC, I feel. And that's going to be a theme going forward as well, too, for the AFC. So it's like this is the first time appearance since Herbert, Lawrence. Yep. Lawrence has been hot the last month of the season, you know, beating his rival, you know, division rivals and all this stuff.
5 games, win streak.
You know what I'm saying? And the defense is heating up. And Herbert, you know, Herbert has a complete team. So, you know, what you going to do with it, right? So, and coaching plays a part too. So with Lawrence, those first 2 interceptions, I really don't blame Trevor Lawrence. He has that gunslinger mentality, a little Brett Favre in him, you know, which isn't always bad, but sometimes, you know, you try to fit it in there. You know what I mean? You try to fit it in there. So one was like tipped. One, like the receiver like ran the wrong way. So I was like, the first 2, I was like, okay, this is bad. But I was like, okay, you do it. But then that third one, I was like, oh, you know, he like threw it right to the dude. And then the fourth.
Do you remember what color you're wearing today, Trevor?
This is all first half. I'm just like, bro, like, are they gonna bench this dude? Because I'm like, this ain't good. You know, they don't look at it like, oh, did someone tip it? No, this is a stat. You got 4 interceptions, bro.
Terrible.
And then, you know, the whole time the Chargers was cashing them in. So 27-0 going into the, you know, almost getting into the second quarter. And Lawrence put one drive together.
Got one. Right. Yeah.
I was like, that's bad. You know, it could, you know. Then second half, the Chargers, I blame coaching more than Herbert.
Yeah. Because
Herbert had his weapons. He had his running back. And they said for some reason they weren't running the ball. You got Austin Eckler. He's a top 10 running back.
So dumb, dude.
Why are you not running the ball? You know, so I think it was bad coaching. I don't put all this on Herbert. I think he's going to get a better coach, probably Sean Payton, because the Chargers are going to fire their coach. They're going to fire their coach after this.
Yeah.
But to see Lawrence make all the throws at the end, not scared, making the same throws that was getting picked. That was a gunslinger. And a little Uche magic, yes, at the end, I believe as well, too, really sealed the deal. This is, you know, I mean, Jags, you know, obviously, they've gotten far in the playoffs before, but this was special just to see this new era, you know, of what's going on. And so that was really cool. Now, obviously, their story's going to end next week because the Chiefs are going to destroy them. But this is nice. This is a nice story. And then we saw history. I saw this is the 3rd biggest playoff comeback in NFL history. And I happened to see all 3 of them. The first one, the biggest one, I think it was like 33 points. It was the old school Bills, Jim Kelly against Warren Moon and the Oilers. And I was an Oilers fan because, you didn't see too many brothers as a quarterback back then. So Warren Moon, it was just cool just to see him out there. You know what I'm saying? And they was destroying the Bills. I was like, this is when the Bills was going to the Super Bowl every year. That was actually a year they ended up going to the Super Bowl
early 90s.
They came back. They came back and beat them. But the Oilers was up like 30-3 or something like that. I was like, oh, it's over, you know. It's tight. And the Bills just kept scoring. And Jim Kelly was hurt. And they still came back. That was the biggest comeback ever. The second one is my second home, the Colts. Andrew Luck came back against the Chiefs the year before Mahomes took over. And, that was like a 30-point comeback. So anyway, this was history yesterday. 3rd biggest comeback ever. Nice story.
Yeah,
it is next week.
I think it's the biggest playoff comeback ever because the third for the playoffs, because isn't, I could be wrong, but isn't the Falcons 28-3? I know it's only 25 points.
That's less. Yeah, well, the Falcons, the Super Bowl one, that's less than what the Jags just did.
Just had,
right. 27-0.
Crazy. Yeah.
And the Oilers was up 33 points.
Damn.
And then the Colts was down by 28 points, I think.
Necron's like, don't remind me, bro. Old Oilers fan right there.
Yeah, that was rough, right? Yeah. That was like, I was like, oh my God, like this gotta be history, right? I was like, man, come back like that.
Young Syl was like, what the fuck is going on, Warren Moon? What the fuck? You're making us look bad, homie. What the fuck?
Bro, Just imagine if he would have won that game, knocked out, you know, the
That would have been
vaulted Bills, like he would have
monumental.
been like he would have been on cereal boxes and everything, man.
Oh, yeah. First ballot at that point. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Because and then like the first African American. You know how they had to fucking label everything
They
back in the day
would've
like that.
His team was dope too, man. Just
His team,
hey,
yeah.
The Bills was that era, man. That was crazy.
Ernest Givens, bro. What a fucking name drop, Necron. Yeah, we got football heads in the house. If you guys didn't
Necron,
realize,
Shout
Necron,
out to
no.
Necron holding it down yesterday.
Yeah, yo,
He's-
appreciate
he's
you, Necron.
The perfect fill-in person for. It was cool seeing y'all because both of y'all, we already know what's going down Monday night. So both of y'all was real, you know, real civil.
we were. Because dude, football doesn't matter at the end of the day. I care about my friendships more, so I'm not gonna fucking ruin it over trash talk. I can talk all the trash, but I ain't gonna do that. I love Necron, bro. So we don't gotta have no bad blood between me and the fucking Dark Lord, dude. I don't need that.
You don't need that.
Yeah, I don't
Bad
need that,
mojo.
bro. But with that being said, man, one of the greatest, like you said, playoff games we both ever watched and had the privilege of watching. That's why you keep watching and you don't turn the game off because you might miss history. And today, there might be history being made. We'll see. Can Skylar Thompson pull off the greatest upset of all time on Super Wildcard Weekend? No way. I don't think it fucking happens, to keep it short. But I do want to get your prediction first. I want to see what you're thinking about this game. So what do you think is going to happen? They started right now. I'm not even going to look at the score. We're going to act like it didn't start yet. But Dolphins, who are 9-8, with their third-string quarterback facing off against the absolutely fire red-hot Bills, who are 13-3.
Well, with the Dolphins, like I said, you know, I think anyone that made the playoffs, like, you know, props to that organization. You know, again, you get an extra check, you get a little bonus. You made it to the playoffs, right? And this is a good story for the Dolphins as well. You know, hey, the elephant in the room, man. Tua's not there, right?
Yep.
Tua's not playing, and you know, they're probably better off having his third stringer than Teddy Two Gloves anyway. but
Dang.
Tua, you know, hey, Tua was like playing the best football the first month of the season, like then as good as any quarterback, you know, in that system. He was playing great, man, and they beat some top teams. You know, the weapons are going to be there, but I mean, at the end of the day, Tua's that conductor, man. And, you know, obviously we care about his health first, you know, having basically 3 concussion situations in one season.
Dude.
You know, the second one should have been like that was the one, you know, where you kind of spasmed out. You know, the first one they really didn't detect, right? So after this third one, man, it's like, man, you know, it sucks. It's part of the game, but it sucks. Just hopefully going forward, man, just make the right choice with them. You playing the Bills. The Bills, you know, it's all about when you get to the playoffs, is there extra motivation? Like, that's why I like the 49ers on the NFC side, because it's like, it's this new kid, you know, Purdy, and Coach Shanahan is like, yo, like, you know, he's doing everything I want in my system. Like, this is, you know, it's that magic, you know. And I think with the Bills, off the unfortunate incident of Damar and Hamlin, I think that unites a team too. And I think the Bills are on the mission. And like early pick, I do feel they could beat the Chiefs this playoffs too, as well too. But today, I think the Bills are a team of destiny. Not saying they'll win it all, because I think the 49ers will beat them up. But we'll wait to the Super Bowl. I can't go too far in the future here. But today, the Dolphins don't have enough, man. They you know, I would have loved to see Tua, you know, in this offensive rolling with all them weapons, Waddle and Tyreek Hill, even Mostert, even he's hurt, you know, for the Dolphins. So it's like, like early in the season when Tua went to, they played Buffalo and they beat Buffalo. Tua beat Buffalo early this season. I said, man, I would love to see this in the playoffs, man. It's like we got the matchup, and it's like, dang, like Tua's not here, man. So I feel robbed. So yeah, long story short, you know, Bills, they're on a mission, man. I think the team is more united than ever, and I think they get the win today.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess I wasted my time going over all these stats that I have, because you just put it so beautifully, so plainly. Unfortunately, the Dolphins aren't the Dolphins right now. They're a shell of themselves. They're preseason Dolphins, basically. because they're so injured. They're to their third stringers at this point, unfortunately. You're right. The Dolphins beat the Bills, though, back in week 3 of this season. Way, way, way back there. It feels like a different year because it was a different year, technically, I guess. But that's also a reason. There's so many reasons that add to my enjoyment of the NFL. But when it starts, man, there's all this hype around every other team. And being a Patriots fan for, decades now, and hearing all the rhetoric at the beginning of the season and, how this team's going to be in the Super Bowl and this team's going to be this, I feel like Bill Belichick, where I'm just like, yeah, whatever. Okay. All right. I'm sure they will be. All right. Yeah. I literally feel like that for the entire, first 6 weeks of the season. And then you're like, okay, now what are you going to be? And the Dolphins, they were white hot the first 6 weeks of the season, right? They were killing it out of the gate until Tua got hurt, and then they fucked up the rest of the season because they weren't planning for the playoffs. The whole point of being a Super Bowl winning team is planning for the playoffs. You have to judge your availability week per week so you can be available when it counts most. Right now, in January, at the end of the season. So, miscoaching, mismanagement by the Dolphins caused them to be in this situation. Had they not kind of forced Tua to come back?
Oh, that first time. Okay, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
He wouldn't have had the second concussion. Yeah. So that the third concussion right now wouldn't be so effective, and they could probably rush him back now for a playoff game when it actually fucking matters. Not in week 5 of the regular season. Like, it didn't matter. They shouldn't have played him. You know what I mean?
That's a great point because again, everyone's going on that Bengals game when when his hands spasmed up and everything.
Yep.
But the problem was it was the week before.
Yep.
When he was groggy and they was like, just what they say, a back injury or something like that.
He just hurt his back. Back.
Bro,
that's all it was.
This dude basically, he had the symptoms, and I think they wrecked their season. Right? If they would have caught it there, did the proper, take the proper precautions because they have a talented team. They could have got 9 wins either way. I feel if you would have kind of set him up a little, earlier. They thought they was going to win the division or something. It's like, well, hey, fully healthy, maybe. But, you got to protect your quarterback, man. And, I know it's kind of hindsight now, but it's just that you want everybody there right now. And don't jeopardize the end of the season just for, like you said, a week 5 game,
Yes. You know what they fell victim to? The Miami mentality, bro. Party right now. I don't care about tomorrow. And that's exactly what happened, dude. They wanted to keep the party rolling with Tua. They were fucking killing everybody, dude. Like, whenever they wanted. And they wanted to keep the habit. Oh, we can't go a game without Tua. God forbid. Well, what if it happens when you're forced to? And they're not thinking ahead. They weren't thinking for the playoffs right now when it matters most. You could have had Tua had you managed his health correctly and had the forethought to be like, hey, if we're in the playoffs, we have to worry about his health. And we have to, and as an organization, how are you not looking at his player history? He always gets hurt one way or another. He's prone to injury, even in college.
Since college, yep.
Yeah, so mismanagement by the Dolphins put them in this situation. They're lucky they even made it to the playoffs. And as Necron set up here, Bills are already rolling. I'm not surprised. Yeah, he should have taken as much time off after the first concussion. Exactly.
Yeah, you got to take those precautions. If you can't, hitch your franchise on Tua's back, right? You need your team to kind of, pull Tua along. What I mean, he's very capable. We've seen what Tua could do.
Yes.
With all his weapons and healthy. But you need, like someone said, like the proper backup quarterback. Like, hey, Teddy Two Gloves, this ain't it, bro. This ain't it for Teddy. And you got basically a wide receiver. There's a third string quarterback, right? So it's 19, like you're a receiver, bro. But it's like, so I think, like I said, the AFC, the theme, and this may be a theme for the next 5 years. You know, do you have the quarterback, or is he available? Is he healthy? And the Dolphins don't have the quarterback, so I put them in a Tom Brady sweepstakes actually for next season, because I think the Raiders are going to go after Tom Brady, and I think the Dolphins, they already wanted him 2 years ago. They may try it again.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I mean, I heard a pundit on one of these networks over this past weekend talking about this, and they said, you know, it means a lot for both of these people, right? To get to discredit one in one sentence and also give credit to another in the same sentence is that a 45 going on 46-year-old quarterback can be more dependable than the 20-some-year-old quarterback, and will be available for every game, and you can count on that more so than you can for Tua, and that's just a fact at this point. Tom Brady, I don't know if it's like, I'm sorry, I was going to say, like, he's hasn't missed a game unless they forced him to. Really, that's the last time he missed a game was when they suspended him.
They blew. Oh yeah, and it's like you almost can't even count that, right? Suspension, you know. But the real time he lost his injury was when they blew his knee up, right? The Dolphins did that. After the crazy season, the near
2008, bro. Yeah, dark ages for me, dude. Matt Castle.
Matt Castle. So it's like, you know, with Brady, you know, it's that whole that TB12 method, right? Like he just knows how to kind of, you know, move his body and mechanics. I think that's a real thing. You know, being pliable and, you know, got some Pilates and all kinds of shit with that. And so it's like with Tua, it's something with his mechanics. It's something, which is how he trains his body. He has to get a hold of this, or he's going to be a part-time quarterback the rest of his career.
Ooh,
you know, so we'll see.
What a way to put that, part-time quarterback, bro.
Yeah,
he ain't getting 40 hours a week, homie.
Yeah, he's not going to get a whole season. I mean, and they're not going to pay him real money to be a part-time guy, right? So yeah, you know, Brady sweepstakes, man. These teams where your roster is kind of already there, they all should be, you know, saying, okay, Brady, you know, we can put all this around you. Who else do you want us to bring in? You know, let's go for one more run. You know, so Dolphins to have everything except their quarterback's not healthy.
Yeah, dude. And everyone, you know, can have their fun and fodder talking about the Brady sweepstakes and all this shit, man. I want him to stay in Tampa Bay. I'm not gonna live in Tampa forever. I already know that. That's part of my plan. Like, we're moving out west eventually. So if he goes out west, that'd be fine with me. But man, I'm sick of buying new merchandise, bro. I just got all this. Look at this Patriots shit I still got, bro.
All this dreamsicles I got over.
Come on, bro. Nobody cares about the good Austin's wallet. What the fuck?
That's hilarious.
Could be on whatever fucking team for you guys.
It's a real thing, though. A lot of people, you know, a lot of pundits. I'm sure you're catching the talk, Austin, on TV. Yeah, you know, the Raiders gonna make a strong push, and I think they won't be the only one for Brady.
Oh nah, dude, they won't. And don't count out the Bucs going on a very strong push as well to get rid of some free agents. I mean, there's a lot of people on the defense that are probably going to be gone next year just because they're on that contract year and they're off of their rookie contract. So, you know, things can happen, man. Jason Glazer got Tom Brady down there and got that team together. Got Lenny, got Gronk, got Antonio Brown. I mean, this year they got Russell Gage. They got Julio. The experiment didn't really play out as great as we thought it would. Also got Kyle Rudolph. Like, they make moves. This year didn't really pan out that much, but you never know what could happen. So don't throw it out of the realm of possibility. And everyone just keep that in the back of their mind, just for my budget. Just for my budget.
Just for no other reason. Right?
No other reason, bro. That's it. Just care about me a little bit, everybody, please. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. I don't need any new merchandise. God damn. New merch. No, unless it's like championship merch. That's the only time I want to get new merch because damn. Yeah, I'll buy a Raiders jersey. Okay. Bro, if he gets that's the one team though that I won't mind because I mean the black and silver, dude. It's tried and tested.
Well,
yeah.
Brady with the Raiders. Like it's almost like the NFL gods want to see that. You know, they want to see Brady with the Raiders.
Dude, I will lose my mind, bro. I don't care. Like that would be the only team. Okay, go to the Raiders. That's cool with me, just because He's going from like one, skull with the swords to another like pirate looking guy. Go ahead, man. But the only thing about that move is he'd be in Patrick Mahomes' division and be facing him twice a year. So you got to think about all those options. That's why the NFC South is still alluring. Who else is going to step up in the NFC South next year? Who you got? You got Rippin, whatever his name is. I forget what his name is. For the Falcons, he gonna step up?
Oh, I think the team in best position to step up in the NFC South is probably the Panthers, because they got if they keep the coach, if they're not stupid.
Yeah, right.
If Brady leaves, and even if Brady stays, I think they kind of fix Sam Darnold, and if a coach did that, or at least made him, competent, I gotta say, who knows, how it goes with coaches and, with NFL right
true.
now. But yeah, I mean, that they would, if Brady stays, even with a lesser roster than, how the Bucks have been playing this year, they, not top roster. He still could easily win a division, I feel. So.
Yeah, I mean, and why would he make it harder on himself if he doesn't need to, and he has full confidence in his thing? The only thing that I am thinking about, the only reason why he might really want to move out of Tampa Bay is just because he may associate it now with the place where he got a divorce, and he wants to get away from that energy. That's the only thing that I could really see being the main reason. Obviously, besides like team stuff, but I'm thinking about like, well, is he comfortable here? Is he going to be comfortable somewhere else? That's what I kind of think about, and that's the first reason why he moved to Tampa Bay was weather, right? And no state taxes. So income tax, I should say. There's definitely state taxes, but yeah, Bo Jackson made Necron a Raiders fan, and
Bo Jackson, Tecmo Bowl.
Yeah, Tecmo Bowl. Damn, bro. Brady to the Lions, I don't think that would be cool though.
They got source.
Yeah, he goes to first he goes to the Succaneers, then he goes to the Lions, the worst fucking.
I think that coach, the Lions coach, he'd take pride in getting golf to success. So yeah, I think they're gonna stand pat.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, they want to work with what they got, right? Yeah, everyone counted him out, but I didn't count him out.
Right? Yeah, and that's some pride there, and I like that. He seems like that type of coach.
He's perfect for Detroit. But yeah, this game's probably easy. I imagine. I'm not gonna look at the score. I imagine that Bills are probably up a lot. So
yeah,
moving on. This is a fun game to call because a lot of people have the inkling that the Giants are going to steal this and that the Vikings are going to be a little bit sleepy today. However, dude, the one thing you got to worry about is the pass defense for the Vikings. Everyone's talking about the offense for each of these teams, and I even wrote out everything. Like Justin Jefferson was first in yards and first in receptions this season. He's number one wide receiver, point blank.
Per stats, yeah. It was a close race for me, but I still take Jamar Chase just by a toenail. By a toenail over Jefferson. And again, they both were teammates in college with Burrow. Was it LSU? Just imagine that team. I'm just saying. Can you imagine? But anyway, like you said, Justin, per stat, he was the best. That's cool.
Yeah, and I mean, there's a reason why they won the championship, bro. The LSU team.
Stacked.
Yeah, stacked. But the Vikings, their pass defense is 21st for opposing QBs, QBR, and also 30th in yards per attempt. So the running Giants team will have to see how well they can do with their weakness to really get an edge against the Vikings defense, because all the Giants really do is run either Saquon or Daniel Jones. Saquon, Daniel Jones, and then the occasional pass. So, and that's not going to be able to work that well against this Vikings team. And they found that out when they played them, because the Vikings were able to halt the Giants offense, make the comeback, and what was like almost the game of the year in Minnesota. And they won on the last second field goal in the regular season. That was earlier this year. And I forget what week that was specifically. But I do want to say one thing about Daniel Jones, right? This year, he had, a so-so QBR. But the last game he played, the full game he played, week 17, he was White Vic, bro. 2 pass touchdowns, 2 running touchdowns,
White
bro.
Vic.
He was White Vic, bro. He was White Vic.
Probably the worst nickname ever.
I love saying it just to get your reaction, bro. That's the only reason why I say it.
Insane, bro.
But that's what we're gonna be watching. We're gonna be watching how he's able to actually pass today against the Vikings defense. Because the Vikings offense, man, we know they got JJ, they got Dalvin Cook, they got TJ Hawkinson, they got Adam Thielen. Like, they have weapons. As long as Kirk Cousins doesn't make any playoff Kirk Cousins mistakes, and he's regular season primetime Kirk Cousins, then they're gonna have an easy day. As far as I'm concerned, it just depends on what the Giants can do on offense and how they're gonna attack the Vikings defense. That's mediocre at best, if not at the very bottom of the league. With all that being said, Vikings win at home to go to the next round. Giants, I'm sorry, you had, one of the weirdest seasons to watch. I didn't expect Daniel Jones to be this good and then also as bad as he was at the same time. But good season, Giants. Good effort. Vikings get the win today. Who do you think wins today at 4 o'clock? Giants versus Vikings, bro.
So the Giants, this is probably the game everyone's circling, despite the Monday night game. I think that's going to be the prime time game tomorrow night, right? Cowboys and Bucks. But as far as today, because the other games, I think it's clear. We all know who's going to win these other games. This game here, they're like, hey, is there a chance, right? You saying there's a chance for the Giants here. Hey, the story for the Giants all year, I always said, NFC, it's about, again, who's going to kind of out tough. That's, again, I'm sticking with that game. But you still got to have a quarterback, too. And both these teams, I'm sorry, it's been some sus moments from both quarterbacks on both sides of this. So Daniel Jones, I've been hard on him because he was just pre-anointed. Like, he went to the Manning school of passing, and it was just, basically, like Peyton and Eli ran to school, right? Like every year or whatever. And they get like the most whitest quarterbacks they can to go there, right? They teach them footwork and all that stuff. So Daniel Jones came from there, right? I was like,
He did.
He got the model, and that's no shade. Peyton's my favorite quarterback, probably right after Vic, ever. And Eli was a beast, I know.
But that's nepotism. That's nepotism, though.
but
you're right. You're right.
but as far as Daniel Jones, this is why I was hard on him his whole career so far, because I'm like, bro, You've been anointed as this, next. I'm not seeing the numbers. I'm not seeing it. This season, Coach Dable for the Giants, they got a good coach now. Like, they was going through all these coaches. You got a guy that's putting Daniel Jones in the right position. Hey, if he has to run, he's going to run. And if it gets down to the final, crunch time, can he just make that one throw? And he started doing it. Against like division rivals, like the Commanders game stands out, where they won that game because Daniel Jones made the play, and they got a solid defense. You already know Saquon's going to be ready to go. They rested them up really good, so they have a chance, right?
They got a chance. And
you go against the Vikings. As much as I love Justin Jefferson, and yes, they got the triplets thing going with Dalvin Cook, Thielens, and OG. They got all the weapons. Are they paper champs? Like, are we looking at paper champs here with the Vikings? Like, do we really trust Kirk Cousins? Because anyone that plays against Daniel Jones, I said this early in the season when Cooper Rush was starting for the Cowboys, and people was like, can Cooper Rush keep this going? I said, I trust Cooper Rush more than Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
So we get into this game. I trust Daniel Jones more than Kirk Cousins. I guess it's an upset special. I'm going with the Giants.
Ooh, there you go, Estat. You got somebody on your side, bro. Don't you worry, homie. Hey, that's a good upset. That's a good upset to pick for sure. I mean, just because they were so close, also the last time they played, and it was a game of the year. I mean, this is a revenge game. If any revenge game is going to happen, it's the Giants. Unfortunately, I'll say this in the same regards as to when we talk about the Buccaneers, but I'm not a huge fan of sitting your guys for the entire game. At least play them a little bit. And like taking that week off while you see you still go to the game, right? You just don't expend any energy there. So you have like a pent up energy, and you watch your team lose, and your first instinct is to be like, I should be on the field right now trying to get our team back to winning, but you just dead that energy down. I don't know. I've never liked it. And you as a Colts fan or in the past with Peyton Manning, like you can attest to that, bro. Every time they sat, they always lost.
Yep, they lost that mojo, that fight. That's why it was good to see. I know we'll talk about the Brady game in a minute, but it was good to see that the Bucs had Brady do some reps at least.
Yes,
that final game, and it's like you said, the Vikings. It's uncomfortable, if you just sit. You know what I'm saying? You sit players. I don't for a whole game. I don't like that at all.
It doesn't. It's like you didn't earn that bye, right? It's just like, oh, we're gonna give it to you to rest you, but and I know, God forbid they actually get hurt, whatever, have you. But now, with that being said, the Giants are healthy as they're gonna get, and the Vikings, they're kind of hurt on defense too, so that might be their advantage. It's just gonna be
a fun game.
It's gonna be a fun game. You're gonna be watching the offenses to see what they do. I don't think the defense is gonna be a highlight this game. That's my opinion. Paper champs.
I'm just saying the Vikings, when I got high on them every point in this season, I was like, oh, they may do their thing. And then it's just like something like just brought them back down to earth. Like every time, counting that Cowboys shellacking, the Cowboys, like they made the Cowboys look good. Like that something was wrong that day, right? So it's like, more on the Cowboys later. But so it just, and then on top of that with the Vikings, my baby Bears gave them 2 good games, and I know we weren't good. The Bears were not good this season, so we should not have had a chance.
Facts.
Like, oh yeah, y'all trash. Yeah, y'all should. If we about to close to beating you, yeah, y'all trash.
Bro, you guys are down by 33 points to the Colts. What the fuck? What the fuck?
The fact that they were even down, great comeback. I get that, and Matt Ryan jokes and that.
Yeah, we don't really count the comeback. We just counted that you finally started playing.
Yeah, that's not good. Last months of the season, you need comebacks like this. And again, that Cowboys game was not too long ago when they laid the egg. And I'm just not trusting this mix. For some reason, Daniel Jones has won a little more respect than Kirk Cousins right now.
Yeah, the only edge I give them is that they're home in the dome. Because I mean, you talk about the egg they laid against the Cowboys, but you're forgetting the egg they laid against the Packers too. I mean, they got beat like 24-3 in like the fucking first 3 quarters of that game. They got owned by the Packers.
That was not too long ago, right?
Yeah, that was a couple weeks ago.
This is the last month of the season. This isn't. I'm just saying this isn't good momentum. What I mean?
Facts. Yeah,
going into the playoffs.
You picked now. The more we talk about this, we're gonna have to. I'm gonna change my pick if we talk about this game anymore. We're gonna have to move on. I'm like, damn, I'm talking myself out of the Vikings pick, bro. Yeah, but just for the
Vikings is a safe pick. That's a safe pick.
It's a safe pick, but you picked. I feel like you picked a better pick now. The more we talked about this, I'm gonna keep my pick just for the countdown's sake, and that might be to my detriment, but maybe it'll give me the edge. We shall see what goes on later on today at 4:00. And the night game today, I don't know how much we're gonna spend talking about this, man. I wrote a decent about Donovan. Like, no Lamar Jackson, bro. No Lamar Jackson. And what more people are talking about for this game is less about the outcome and how it's gonna play out, and it's more of how do you feel about Lamar Jackson not playing and not going like out to play with a bum knee for this game? And the answer is, if you have ever done manual labor for a living, okay, you put your body on the line for your job every day. Fuck no, you're not going to go to work if you're not getting paid, motherfucker. That's as easy as that. It's easy as that. So I don't blame Lamar Jackson whatsoever for sitting this out, for sitting this last, month and a half out. I don't blame you. This is every time they lose and do bad without Lamar, it's just more leverage for him when it comes time to negotiate for that contract again. And when they want to franchise tag him and everything, he's going to have things to say. He's going to have very distinct marks where he can be like, oh, well, look at the first half of the season with me, and then look at the second half of the season without. The whole reason why they made the playoffs is because of Lamar Jackson's play. After that, they just fucking coasted into the playoffs on their record. I don't think Tyler Huntley is going to have a great game today. I don't think the Ravens are going to be able to get to the Bengals and get to Joe Burrow specifically because over the last 8 games, the offensive line, that retooled offensive line now, they've only given up 2 sacks or fewer a game, when a lot of people are getting averaging 3 to 4 a game with their crap and injured offensive line. If Joe Burrow has time, he's going to get to the right person. If Jamar Chase has the opportunity to do his route and then do another route freehand, I mean, they have all the chances in the world for this to be an absolute blowout tonight in Ohio. When's the last time they've had a playoff game won? Been a while. When's the last time, I guess last year, but home playoff game on another Super Bowl run. Last year was improbable, but this year they're thinking, it's our year to lose. And they're looking at the 49ers already on the other side. I feel like they already can beat the Chiefs. They're the Chiefs' kryptonite. We've seen that this season already. And tonight is the first step in their road and their path back to the Super Bowl. And they're going to make it look easy, I feel like. Unfortunately for John Harbaugh and the Ravens, because they can only work with what they got. And if Lamar Jackson's out there, that's a completely different energized team. He is the lifeblood of their team. And without no Lamar, there's no Ravens. So Bengals get the win tonight. Easy win. What do you think is going to happen tonight? 8 o'clock, prime time, division playoff matchup.
Yeah, I mean, AFC, it's about, do you got the quarterback, right? I mean, the Ravens don't got their quarterback, man. I mean,
damn,
that just is what it is. And I mean, like I said, overall, Burrow, again, he's in this, this the era of, Mahomes, Allen, and Burrow. And so
we got a new trifecta. It's not Brady, Manning, and Roethlisberger
exactly. Exactly. There's always themes, man. There's always themes. And so Burrow, he's on this collision course to play that Bills game because, we understand the circumstances of our last game. Bengals feel a little slighted because, by percentage points, they won't have home field. But we understand it was a tough situation with Hamlin. But the point here, they're going to take care of business. The Bengals, I think this is, like you said, why watch games when it's probably going to be a blowout? Like, I'm going to watch the rest of this Bills game because, football's almost over, y'all. So I'm going to enjoy, some NFL football. Same with this game tonight. I think it's going to be a blowout. I think the Bengals, they're going to, try different schemes that they plan on using next week and stuff like that.
Yeah.
A little practice.
Experiment.
With the Ravens, like I'm really, it's kind of, I don't know how they expected how the season to go with not paying Lamar, not locking in your MVP winning, 2-way triple threat, all world quarterback who's probably doing things that even Michael Vick says he's doing stuff I wish I did, which is insane. For the GOAT Michael Vick to say that. So for them not to lock him up, to lock up Lamar, and for Lamar still to not hold out and show up and play, probably because he trusts they was going to do the right thing, and they didn't pay him, right? They didn't do it. So what happens? Everyone's like, oh man, if he, you can get hurt any game, right? He bangs his knee up. PCL injury, a real inflammation injury in his knee. And now reports are coming out this past week that this is just reportedly the team, the Ravens are saying they think Lamar should be playing.
Damn.
And Lamar tweeted it out. This is the age of social media, right? You can just get your message out there. And he said, no, my knee's not ready to go. I wish I could go out there with the guys. So now they're putting Lamar in a situation where he didn't hold out. He didn't do any of this stuff during the season. He answered all the questions correctly when they asked him. He's like, no, we're going to play football right now. He actually gets hurt. And now you're undercutting him through back channels. Because that's what, when we watch TV on ESPN, they got their sources and stuff. Dude. They're trying to smear Lamar's name now, saying, oh, he he could be playing. He just decided not to play. So I wholeheartedly feel after this season, they're going to franchise tag Lamar Jackson, and then I feel they will take phone calls. I think there's a real chance he can get traded because you do not do this to your franchise quarterback. You don't allow him to go out there unpaid. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
But then you do not smear him by, again, leaking out there that y'all thinking he should play. When that's his knee, you know, people forget. They forget how long ago RG3 decided to play on a bad knee in the playoffs. And we saw his knee just give out on national television.
Yep.
That's what they want Lamar to do? Like, what are we talking about here, right? So I really feel, you know, you thought it was crazy for that Deshaun Watson trade situation. I think Lamar Jackson is going to get traded. He's going to get a guaranteed contract more than Deshaun Watson. I think it's going to be nuts this this off season. But shame on the Ravens, man. You do not put your quarterback out there like that and basically smear him. I have no respect for the organization right now.
Yeah, that's fucked. That's more than fucked. And I can't even mince my words on that. That's just completely fucked. That's wow. Yo, you know what needs to happen? And I don't know if the universe just put this idea in my head, but I'm going to say it here right now on the Good Countdown. What day is today? Is it January 15, 2023? Lamar Jackson to the Colts.
Hey, I think it should be an open market. It's going to be an open market. Again, they're going to franchise tag him. There's all this stuff is going to come out, you know, get close to the draft. They're going to franchise tag Lamar Jackson. I think he's done. He'll never put this uniform on again. I think his career is over with the Ravens, and it's their own fault.
It's their fault.
Because I think he still would have showed up to play. Like, let's say he got hurt, and they said none of this bull crap we're hearing now. And they're just like, man, you know, he can't make it. Let's go with the team that we got. Franchise tag him. And I think Lamar still would have showed up and played. But now you're doing this back channel talk.
Bro.
I'm pretty sure anyone around Lamar, his friends, his agent, whatever, you know, his mom's his agent, but the people around him, they're going to be like, you know, and you can't talk about her baby, right? You talking about
I was going to say, her mom was definitely saying, oh, hell no.
Yeah.
Hell no.
I don't think he'll ever suit up again. That's just my opinion on that. I don't think he'll ever suit up again for the Ravens. I think it's over.
Man, I hope it is, honestly, for Lamar. I mean, Petty Austin just came out when I heard that shit. Like, fuck that shit, dude. Fuck you, really? Ravens. That's so dumb. Yeah. So your fault, and then you're gonna go talk trash about the man because you probably have some old white doctor who's like, oh, his knee's fine. He can. You know what I mean?
That's literally what, and I don't know if it was an old white doctor, but that's literally what's out there.
I knew it.
It's a podcast out there of like former NFL players, like was it TJ Houshmandzadeh, and they got Plaxico Barris. It's a nice podcast, and LeVar Arrington is his podcast. And Houshmandzadeh said, yeah, he heard a doctor, the Ravens team doctor said that they told the team that they cleared Lamar. Like, all this stuff is not public, right?
But Lamar is going to his own doctor, I bet.
And Lamar already put his public statement out there that says, I'm not playing. So that's this internal thing going on.
Damn.
And they're leaking this stuff out on purpose, again, for public perception.
Yeah.
To lessen the blow, because they're going to have to trade this man. They really are going to have to trade him.
They have to. It's terrible. I mean, and even if he came back at that point, it's like I forget his name. I'm pretty sure it's Ricky James. Who was the Miami Dolphins running back?
Damar, Ricky Williams?
Ricky Williams. That's who it is. It's kind of like that perception, right? Like you want him, but you don't want him. He doesn't want to play for you. But he wants to play, and you won't let him go. Like it kind of reminds me of that. And also, why would you want that? You don't want like, oh my god, man.
Yeah,
you deserve this, Ravens. You deserve to have a losing team for the next couple of years.
Oh yeah,
just for this.
You don't have a franchise. Again, this is the AFC. You gotta have the quarterback. You can't wing this. You know, that's why. I mean, the Patriots came close, right? Doing this without a quarterback to make the playoffs. That's very rare to get that, to get to the playoffs in the AFC. And so you getting rid of an MVP not just your franchise quarterback, an MVP. He could have held out this entire season and no one would have blamed him at all. All right, but he went out there and, he got you 10 wins and banged up his knee, and got you in the playoffs. That's what's insane about it. He still went out there and got you to the playoffs, took off the last month of the season. You know what I mean? So it's like, come on now.
Bro, he went out in good faith, and they didn't show him any good faith back. That's crazy.
Yeah,
that's absolutely crazy.
There's no sympathy for the Ravens. I think you miss out on the franchise quarterback. You deserve to be a rebuilding team. That's basically what they're going to be.
I wish you guys had Zach Wilson.
They fix it. Unless they fix this, they right. I mean, if they could find someone to smooth this over, but to learn that these stories are leaking out, and this was coming out like during the playoff games last night, like people started talking about it.
So ridiculous.
And I'm sure the network people, they're not going to, probably touch rumors like that, but on these other podcasts, like these, because these former NFL players, they have connections and they talk to people, and I believe it, and I think it's being put out there on purpose to make Lamar look bad.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's a long way to say, and we did exactly what everyone else is doing, right? We didn't even really talk about this game. We basically just said Bengals gonna win, and then what's going on with Lamar Jackson, because that's who we really want to see playing this game. And the reason why we want to see him play in this game is because we want to see a good, competitive, hard-nosed football game like that we're used to. When you see Bengals versus the Ravens, you automatically think, division matchup, hard-nosed, like fight. It's going to be a shootout the whole game. And this is not going to be a shootout. It's going to be a blowout because no Lamar Jackson. And we miss you, dude. We hope you get well soon. And keep doing what you're doing. We have no problem here at Syl Nation Sports Network with the moves you're making. And, I hope you listen to mom. That's all I'm going to say. Listen to your mom.
Health first. And, man, like I said, open up the box office trades because you got a franchise quarter. He may be on the market, y'all.
Open that checkbook, mama. Open that checkbook. You ready to go. Your baby's getting paid. He better get paid. That's all I'm saying.
Talking about like $300 million. I think that's the number. Woo.
Better come big with that. But that's the last night game today. The last game of Wildcard Weekend.
Man. Super Wildcard Weekend.
Super Wildcard Weekend. We got them Dallas Cowboys coming to Tampa Bay. And you see the records, but I should have just taken the records off because the records don't matter. Everyone's 0-0 right now. Records don't matter. Who's coming to our house? Oh, that's right. You guys. Okay. And why is that? Why is that, Necron? Because y'all decided not to fucking play last week. You guys could have won your division, and you just laid the fuck down. I know the Eagles ended up winning anyway, so it didn't really matter.
It was a chance, though.
You had a chance, and you fucking late. Well, I digress. I went to length yesterday with Necron about this game. So I want to hear your take on this game. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow night? What's the storylines you've been hearing about this? And what are you most excited to see for this Monday night matchup between these historic figures? Tomorrow night, Cowboys versus Buccaneers.
Yeah, I think, like I said, with this Super Wildcard Weekend, I think they did a good job getting like one marquee game a night, right? Like that's why I enjoyed this first weekend of NFL playoffs because you had that Chargers Jaguars game, which I think was a good marquee game. Today, I think it's that Giants Vikings game. I think it's gonna be huge. And so with this game, Monday night, you're capping it all off, right? I mean, it's just America's team against the GOAT, right? Like you can't plan this any better than this, right? So for ratings, that's why NFL is a multi-billion-dollar organization, right?
They know what they're doing.
So you got the Cowboys, right? They've had it's almost like they sleepwalk into 12 wins. Like, what's the most vanilla 12 wins you've ever seen, except with these Cowboys right here? Like, I mean, I'm just saying they kind of just sleepwalk, which could be good or bad. But and then obviously that best game was against the Vikings, who I think are paper champs. So it's like, did they really do anything this season? I don't know. But the Cowboys, I mean, it's the same old story. Can Dak get it done, man? Like, we shouldn't be at this point in Dak's career where I'm considering Daniel Jones getting further than Dak in the playoffs. Like, that should not be a reality. But this is where we're at right now, right? I think, with Dak, you know what you got with him. The running game, it is what it is. I mean, you know what I mean? Zeke doesn't scare anybody anymore. Is he even playing? I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, Pollard's a good weapon. And again, with the receivers, they go as much as Dak goes, or the defenders, because they're catching as many balls as the Cowboys receivers. You get these pick sixes. So it's like, I don't trust Dak. I don't trust this dude, man. Like, he's like Kirk Cousins level right now. And again, right now, Daniel Jones is looking more reliable than this dude. And now you happen to be going against the GOAT, who started figuring out that, hey, let me just air this out to Mike Evans. Like, just F all this. Just throw it to Mike Evans. I think the Buccaneers fix their offensive problems. I think the Cowboys are going to be the Cowboys and find ways to lose. Like, I don't see any way in a primetime game like this that this iteration of the Cowboys team, led by Dak Prescott, no way they march into a primetime game, going to the GOAT. He's not going to let this be his last game potentially with the Buccaneers. Losing to this Cowboys team? No. Buccaneers, they may keep it close. But I think the Bucs, they figured out something on offense. And the number one question I asked myself when the Bucs played all season, did Julio practice all week? The answer is yes. Full participation. Julio Jones will be in the starting lineup. Godwin. Now, Godwin may have lost a step or two right after that last couple of knee injuries. But Brady finally has all his weapons, and they look good, 2 games ago when the division was on the line.
Yep. I
think they're going to continue this. I think now, again, next week, I do think the GOAT's going to lose. But I'm just saying this game right here. Now, somehow, though, if Brady ends up playing the Eagles, I think he really could do something there. We'll talk about that in the future. But the Niners, though, no, not happening.
No,
you already know what's up.
I don't want to face the Niners, bro. Jesus.
That's what I say. I think we can get a nice little storybook run from Brady. Take care of business at home, see what happens. That's one game at a time. But no, this Cowboys, no. I know. Shout out to Decro. I know, like, these are your boys. I gotta be honest. Like, when I see more positives with the Giants team, and they got 3 less wins than you, something's wrong. Something's wrong with this Cowboys makeup, man. Like, just it ain't jiving for me right now. And you happen to go against the GOAT. Probably bad timing, bad matchup for them. But Bucks for the win. That should be a good game, though.
Fair way to put it, man. Man, I love hearing that from you, of all people. You're just mirroring all my sentiments, and you're saying it with way less civility, which I love, because obviously my bias is on full display, right?
Only because people know I give it to my own team too, so it's not personal.
You
going
do?
to the Cowboys.
No. He's just being real. That's the way that Syl picks. He does it with his brain and his heart at the same time, and you're gonna hear that.
And that's true. They'll just beat themselves. That's how the Cowboys.
That's what he
like
said.
The losers. They're gonna beat themselves.
Yeah, and I told Necron this yesterday, and I'll say it to you as well. I would be more worried about this game and the Cowboys as a team if Cooper Rush was the quarterback right now. And that's fact.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I'm just saying. All right. Now, we may not ever see that reality because Dak makes too much money, but Cooper Rush, I was actually kind of becoming a fan of the Cowboys. Like, this underdog approach and, managing the game. Again, NFC, you just got to out-tough the team.
I was starting to like them. I was starting to like the Cowboys.
11 from heaven. Micah was wrecking havoc. The defense was carrying them, but Cooper was managing the game. And
yes, sir.
That iteration, I thought that was a good formula. This year, I'm sorry, man. Dax ain't that dude, y'all. I'm sorry. We asked it, we take this test every year for Dak Prescott, and we keep getting the same answers, right? Like like nothing's changed in the answer key. He's not the dude, right? He's just not.
Yep, still Dak Prescott. Results didn't come out any different. Still Dak Prescott.
He said, like this team with a losing record is a damn juggernaut. All right, it's that Brady magic. I think he gonna wake up.
Hey, bro, what did I just say when we began this? The records don't matter. Everyone's 0-0, bro. So go ahead with your losing record.
James. He's still mad about that Lions pick.
He's like, hey, yo, hey.
He's still mad about that. Hey, that was my last chance for the season, bro. Like, I was like,
great.
I knew we were going to lose everything else. I was like, let me get one more shot at the Lions.
Bro, that'll go down in history as one of Syl's greatest takes of all time. He had me I couldn't sit still. I was all over the place. I was falling over. I was fucking dying, bro.
Hey, that was passion, bro.
Yo, it was. I love it. I love when it comes out, too. And Necron, to say about this, too, right? Who else has a winning record in the playoffs, but is a losing team? The team we just talked about, the fucking Ravens. They're 10-7, bro. But they're going to get classed out of the stadium today. So it doesn't matter about them records. It matters how you playing right now. And unfortunately, bro, the last team that Dallas played, they lost to a third-string quarterback, making his first fucking start.
And see, I didn't even touch on that, right? Because that was weird. That was weird mojo. I believe in momentum and just your team got to have some kind of momentum, man.
Yeah.
And to lay an egg like that against the Commanders, that wasn't a good look either. Like, you know, where's your confidence at going into the playoffs, man? You know, just not a good feeling. I feel, with this Cowboys team.
But we do respect all of the Cowboys fans, obviously, and we greatly respect Necron. So, man, don't hate us for our picks. Don't hate us for being passionate. And it's not you, but I grew up with a huge amount of Cowboys fans, surprisingly, in upstate New York, because the Giants was a rivalry with the Cowboys fans, and they're all fighting over a 8-8 record while I'm watching the Patriots be successful every freaking year. And I was like, yo, you guys are dumb. You guys are so stupid. And you think Tony Romo is gonna fucking do anything? And I said that to people before the playoff game, and it came down to that field goal where he muffed the fucking hold and all that. And I remember being on a couch with one of my friends who was the Cowboys fans and just going like this.
Hey,
I told you.
I will say, if Cowboys somehow find a way to win, Necron's going to be unbearable.
Oh,
like, I'm going to avoid all streams with Necron. I'm going to, you know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Just until the Cowboys lose.
Here's the thing, though, about me. I am not a poor loser. I will give you the credit. And if you win fair and square and it's not some fucking bullshit, I will definitely give you the credit. But if it's some stupid ass call that was or wasn't called on the field and the refs ruin this game in some way, shape, or form, then I'm not gonna let you talk. But
he's gonna be unbearable.
He will be unbearable.
I'm telling you right now, Necron, you the homie. But if the Cowboys win, I'm gonna avoid you.
Yeah. You're public enemy number one at that point, bro. I don't wanna listen to that, bro. But that's in another parallel universe where the Cowboys actually win playoff games on the road. I don't think that's going to happen tomorrow night, unfortunately, either. And fortunately enough for me, I think Brady's going to live on and play another game in the Bucs uniform, and I can get more use out of my $125 jersey that, I only got to use for a couple of seasons. But, fucking game. But in my time. We love you, Necron. We love you, bro.
I'm just saying, I don't want you to be surprised if the Cowboys win. Like, you're not gonna see me till the Cowboys lose, man.
We're gonna see the Texas come out of Necron if the Cowboys win. Dude,
I'm gonna avoid them at all costs. And all Cowboys fans, I'm avoiding all Cowboys fans if they win.
I'm avoiding the internet, bro. Fucking A. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get the hell off the internet if that's the case. But with the everybody in Syl Nation is kind of like, we all have our different teams and we all can kind of cohesively come together for these predictions and talk our shit and talk I think they're gonna win, I think they're gonna lose, whatever. Give your predictions, give your bets even, and shout out Money Train James. I see that name change. I love that name change. I think it just speaks to the power of our community and how welcome we can be, even though harsh rivals of ours, we can still talk with, and we can still converse with, and we still can kind of try and find a common sense of conversation, and we can get on the same page. Like Necron understands as a Cowboys fan, like if they lose, it's gonna be because they beat themselves. Like he's not oblivious to that. And I'm not oblivious to the fact that Tom Brady didn't play great this entire season. Now, do I think that's Brady's fault? Not all of it, no. Do I think you're going to be affected if, as a 45-year-old, you go through a divorce? Yeah, I do. Do I think that people didn't give him enough credit for that? Yeah, I do. But that's besides the point. I do understand other people's aspects of where, like, oh, Tom Brady should be putting on, blah, blah, blah. So I understand everyone's points about everything in the football world, and I try to understand where everyone is coming from a fan aspect and from a logical aspect. And I just appreciate everyone who comes here every week and can give their opinions and be nice to everybody, and we can all laugh with each other, we can all roast each other's teams, and no one takes it too personally, because this is just a game after all. And that's why, another reason why I love it so much, because it brings people together that I may have never talked to before and never had a conversation with, never had a relationship with. Like Money James is the homie now, but like I would have maybe never had that if we didn't have this show and didn't have this area and this community. So thank you, Syl, for this first day 2 of Wildcard Weekend, the first playoff weekend.
Wildcard Weekend.
Super. And thank you, everybody in the chat, for being here to cap off this weekend. Now, tomorrow night is day 3, and we're going to do a watch along for it. Necron may or may not be here. It depends. It depends. We'll see.
I would love for Necron to pull up on
too.
your watch along. I would.
Too.
I'll be watching while I'm watching the game. I'm gonna be watching your watch along. Like that's gonna be must see TV, man.
The boys versus the Bucks, and the boys are watching it together. I hope he shows up, obviously. But if he doesn't, if he's busy, I understand. He's got a wife and everything and a life as well. But my lady understands. I was like, hey, Bucks are playing Monday night at 8 o'clock. I will not be available. I will take me off the schedule, my miss, but we're going to be a little busy tomorrow night. And man, I'm hyped. It's playoff time. This is the funnest time of the year. This will be the best weekend of NFL football, like you said, Syl. And we got nothing but more football coming after this season. Yeah. This is only the hype up to the biggest game of the season. And we continuing on after that, man. I appreciate you being the co-host of this show, bro. It's been an absolute pleasure. Absolute pleasure.
Cool, man. It's been a cool first season of doing this. Like I said, with the playoffs, you know, the matchups are only going to get tighter, you know, next week. And then we're going to be talking about Super Bowl soon. So this was a successful first season. And we're gonna still be covering these next couple weeks. And you know what I mean? Seeing if my picks go all the way. Like I said, 49ers Bills. That's my early picks for the Super Bowl. Just throwing it out,
bro. Hey, you gotta get your. I wouldn't be surprised if that comes true, because homie picked the freaking Jags to win the AFC South in Week 4, and that was the craziest prediction of this entire season, man. That was a long play. He's like, I got this. Watch this happen.
It's just a premonition.
The force came over him. He's like, it's the dark horse. It's the Jags. They're gonna get it. He said that on here, and I was like, oh damn, okay. And then they started.
No, Austin was like, yeah, right.
Yeah. And then they started losing. I was like, oh, that's your dark horse, bro.
How about that dark horse? That's a free cold take right there.
Yeah, right. Damn, bro. Damn. I'm going through. I'm making a compilation. I guess I gotta find that now. Find me clowning on Syl when they're actually getting that dub.
How's that dark horse doing, Syl?
I fucking ate my words, dude. So hard with that. So hard. But that's the point of why we love this show, man. Because we can laugh at each other. We can laugh at ourselves. We don't take ourselves too seriously. It's fun, and we're gonna keep the fun rolling for the rest of the year. I was just thinking, you know how Syl pops up when there's some big comic book news, some big news in general for entertainment in the comic book world. Wait till there's a monumental trade that goes down. Oh, we're gonna pop up and we're gonna talk about it, just like Syl does.
So, I'll do it from my phone, bro. Like, if something pops up, hit me up. Wherever I'm at, man. Yeah, just hit me
Okay.
up.
Let's
If it's
go.
something
let's
big,
go.
especially if it's like a Lamar thing or Brady
gonna have to
trade
talk.
or whatever. Yeah.
We're gonna have to talk for sure.
Oh,
So
yes.
just
Oh, yes.
don't you guys worry. When the off season comes, we're not actually gonna slow down. We're gonna ramp the fuck up. And this year is a year to win. This year is the year of Syl Nation, the Cool Table, the Mikey Verse, and it's just getting started, y'all. So thank you again for everyone being here. Thank you, Syl, for being here. Members Mondays tomorrow, right? Is that what it is?
Yes. Members Mondays tomorrow. All can watch, but only members can comment and ask questions. If you miss it, it's archived to Rogues level 1 members. Just to let y'all know.
There you go. So catch him tomorrow on Members Mondays. Catch me after back here for the Good Hour special watch along presentation. And if you don't see either of us, then Freezing Cold Takes is on Wednesday. Rogues is currently on Tuesday. Then you have Coffee Talk on Thursday. You probably have his Spaces with Sky and Syl on Friday. And then we'll be back on Saturday to do another special edition of the Good Countdown. The playoff countdown is what next Saturday will be. The playoffs. So we doesn't stop. We keep rolling. Make sure you sub. Make sure you follow. And make sure you put those notifications on so you know exactly when we go live. Because we want everybody to be here. We want this community to be active. And we want to hear your opinions. Because obviously we talk shit and there's going to be a response. So let's hear it. But with that being said, go Bucks. And I can't wait for tomorrow night. I can't wait to see what goes on, man. It's NFL action. Still, last words before we go, homie?
Hey, let's see if the G-men really got it. There's a lot of Giants fans out there. It's going to be, I'm going to enjoy this. Like Austin said, football's winding down. NFL is. So enjoy the games. Even if there's blowouts, enjoy the games and get your football in.
Yeah, we're almost down to only counting games on one hand of what we have left for NFL games. So, yeah, don't take it for granted. Go enjoy it. Hopefully we got nothing but tutties, bro. Big tutties. We'll see everyone next week, and we'll see him tomorrow back here on Good Austin's channel. Peace, y'all. Have a good day. Yeah.